Yeah, what's good? What's good? I'm Lito. Welcome back to Propels Talk, episode 113. Before we get into this show, it's presented by DraftKings and Company Burger. Show's about Devonte Graham, man. Can Devonte Graham have a bounce back season? It's me. I'm Lito. That's Chaz. That's Chris. Five pulling up. Holla at us.
First took away. Gas for this. Get your money's worth out.
Yeah. All right, man. What's up, fellas?
What's going on?
That shit caught me way off guard, bro. I ain't seen the intro in so long.
Come on, man. We out here introing, bro. This is like the first album. This is the first song on the album, dog. Like we making good music. But man, we here for Devonte Graham, guys. We talking all things Devonte. You know, as y'all know, Devonte didn't have a successful season shooting the ball by his standards. I think he shot 36% from the field and 34 from three last year. Um, he's been in every trade imaginable by by the fan base, right? Chaz, this show is kind of your fault.
How you say that?
It's kind of your fault because you said something yesterday, bro, that kind of had my wheel spinning. You said people forget how to shoot.
Yeah.
So do you believe that DG can regain his shot? Is that something you think can happen?
I think with DG, I think he's a little less of a shooter versus a scorer or like a microwave type scoring guy. The issue with him is he doesn't really have a, um a lot of variation in his game. He doesn't have a lot of ways to score. Like if you look at his jump shots, it's no consistency in the shot. Like it's how he kicks his legs out. It's never like a standard set shot. But I do think you could tell he's a player that went through a lot of anxiety this year. It's funny, after we had the show yesterday, I thought about JJ Redick, and I was like, that's another person who kind of just forgot how to shoot. Like,
Yeah.
and you're like, this is fucking JJ Redick. Like, far as mechanics and things of that nature, he's like the foundation people look to.
Right.
So I think with DG, I think a lot of it was anxiety and him going up in the air, overthinking things after he leaves his feet. Like he just starts throwing the ball at the rim.
You think it's more mechanics than anything else?
I think it's anxiety. I think it was anxiety. I think he would jump in the air and he would just throw the ball at the rim. And I say that because when you look at a lot of moments in the game when it's the fourth quarter and you look at his catch and shoot numbers, right? When he doesn't have the option to create, when people drive and they kick it out to him for a big shot, when he doesn't have time to think, he just puts it up. I always trust him to make those shots. But if he got to create off the dribble or he has too much time to process what's happening, I think he's gonna fuck it up.
I feel that. Five, brother Cinco, how you doing, man? Good to see you.
Hey man, sorry I'm late. You know what I'm saying? I had to
Sorry,
run and
man.
get pizza for the click on crutches. Yeah, that was pretty good by me.
This man dangerous, bro.
Very, very dangerous. I had to let the lady at pizza help me out. But look, listen.
Yeah.
Devontae, like his shot, I don't think it's more so about like he didn't forget how to shoot. Come on now, Chad. I think that's a little fault. They're not forgetting how to shoot, bro. They're not forgetting how to shoot. But sometimes I think, especially you talk about JJ, lower extremities, shorter person, lower extremities, those are the first things that go. He doesn't get the same lift, hence why his shot's off. Devontae, pretty much the same. He had a lower extremity injury in the year, which impacted his shot because he's short. He needs the lift. He doesn't get the same lift. That means his shoulders can't get as square. Hence why he's missing. A lot of his shots are mostly in rhythm, right? Do catch, shoot, right? It's all from the rhythm of your feet, running, catching, shooting. The ones he was making, the stuff that he had to sit in the corner or just catch and shoot, or he had to dribble and like those are tougher shots because you don't get your body fully under you to make them. I think that was his issue. Like if he's healthy, he's making those shots, but the fact that he wasn't really impacted his shooting.
So Five, let me ask you this. I'm going to Chris next. Five, let me ask you this. Do you believe that he can have a bounce back season?
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Because it's all confidence. It's all getting healthy and getting in the gym and shooting. Because he's in the gym religiously shooting. You know, ever since the little incident he had, he's been in the gym. Like he's consistently in New Orleans shooting the basketball. He was even shooting with the dude from Vandal. I think that's his partner. But like he was all on Instagram. Like he's shooting a lot. And I think he's gonna have a bounce back year. He knows his role, he knows the team, he knows the angles, he knows who to play off of. I think then at the beginning of that year, last year, it switched from, oh, now we need you to create. Like he wasn't preparing for that. He thought he was gonna have Zion, Brandon to play off of them.
Yeah.
Now he's gotta be the main ball handler, and he was trying to play off the kid. Like there was so many moving parts. Now he probably has a solidified role. It's like, hey, Devonte, we want you to do this season. Focus on this season, and I think he'll shine.
Hey, Chris, let me ask you a question. So, do you think, based on Devontae's performance last year, that there's been an overreaction by the fan base heading into the offseason?
I mean, sure, it's what we do, to an extent. But I think with every overreaction, there is some sense of like fair that's at play. If you're telling me he doesn't belong on the roster at all and he can't contribute, well, I mean, I don't think that that's necessarily factual, right? Because he had a bad year outside of December, where I think he shot his best. That was his best complete month, and it won the Pelicans some games. I think December was that. I think December had both that Oklahoma City game and that Utah game where he hits the game winner. One's a heave and one's a three as time's expiring.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I mean, to be honest, that's a part of the game. For him, and we always got to keep this in context. Some people, I think, and we all do this. I don't think you really, you a real fan if you don't overrate at some point, even if it's just by yourself. I mean, that's a part of what we do. We make ourselves believe that, even the worst talented player, you try to find the best element of their game. You fix it in your brain to think how they can contribute. We do it. Or when someone's not playing bad, or when someone's not playing well, you go the opposite side. It's a part of it. And I think for him, look, I mean, when he was brought in, you look at his numbers, man, his 3-point percentage dropped, but a lot of those other numbers from a full season, it's really not that, like, percentage-wise, efficiency, it's kind of the same dude for the most part. And some of that's on us, right? We look at it and we saw some of that's on the roster. He was put in situations, and, I think there was an expectation that he was going to do more of what we really seen from him, which is it's kind of the same guy. It's a dude that's he'll throw out a floater every now and then, but for the most part, he's a 3-point shooter. And it's sad because he was a better defender than I thought he was. And he did have a month or a period where he was one of the bright spots on the team. We started the year talking about how clutch he was and how important he was in the fourth quarters and some of those games, not even with the game winners. And you get to a point to where he loses confidence, a lot of things that Five was talking about. And it pretty much goes out the window. But when he was brought in, the person that people were thinking about the most in regards to pairing him to, he wasn't there. And it's Zion.
Sure.
So
yeah.
He's been putting in the work. I think he's done everything the team has asked him to do outside of, call a Lyft or Uber. He's been everywhere. He's been at places in which he hasn't been asked to go to. And all the other areas from summer league, so on and so forth. He's been a part of those. He's done everything that they've asked to. He's been putting in the work. I think it can only get better, but this is what comes with the job. Unfortunately, fans, media, whether you're in blogs, we are all gonna find scapegoat, somebody to blame. It builds us content. It is what it is. Sure. But I think we all have to be honest about if he gives you 2% better than what he gave you last year, considering where his role would be. I mean, you might consider that a success.
Chaz, let me ask you. Do you think the Pelicans failed Devonte last season by asking him to do too much?
I think the Pelicans failed.
Organizationally, roster wise, you know what I'm saying?
I think organizationally they failed in a lot of regards because I think the reason I say that is because it's like peeling off a scab. It's like when you knew Zion was injured, when you found that out, that was the time for you to make the appropriate decisions. We don't really know exactly when they found it out. So, like when you draft, we all know, like you can watch Devonte's tape and see he's a microwave scorer type guy. So if you knew Zion was injured and you knew there was a chance that you were like DG was gonna have to run the offense, then yeah, you failed in that regard. You put him, you didn't put him in the best situation to succeed. But at the same time, you know, you're a professional. You're one of the best players in the world. Clearly, you have to be able to adjust and make. You know, you're getting paid a lot of money to do what you do. So you have to be able to adjust. Sometimes you're going to be put in situations that aren't as favorable. I've seen Devonte Graham look incredible against like the Nets and other teams like that prior to LaMelo coming in. I've seen him have some really, really huge moments. Right. So I think it's a combination of the team failing him not necessarily rising to the occasion. And it was just a lot of circumstances this year that we may never see again. It was a really weird year. We may never see some of these circumstances again.
Lito.
Okay. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Lito, can I
please interject.
Yeah. All right. Can I respond to
do something?
What happened?
I don't know. I was hoping that was
all right. I think one of the things that when you talk about those circumstances, and we got to put them all into perspective.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody thought, wow, Thomas Satoransky wasn't supposed to be right. He wasn't supposed to lift your team.
Sure.
He wasn't supposed to be that bad. Yeah.
You didn't think he was going to be like unplayable. You didn't think he was going to completely forget. You talk about forget how to play basketball.
Right.
He just did. The instincts, the aggression, the confidence completely gone. Right. He was a ghost out there.
Yeah.
You still had an investment in Kyra. You had to see how that was going to go. Hoping that he was maybe make a turn.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to. Regardless, we knew going into the year, with or without Zion, the roster had, even if it wasn't necessarily closed, they had question marks.
Yeah.
No, why do you still have that?
I just knew Kyra was going to come up at some point. So, but go ahead.
But that's the point, though. So it put Devonte in a situation in which he had to do more because you're looking at other guys. And that you still had questions about, that you still had to find, they just didn't work out. They didn't perform.
I agree with you.
It was what it was.
Satoransky was like a tire with no tread last season. My son was just rolling. He didn't know where he was going. He was just rolling. Five, let me ask you this. Coming into this season, realistically, where can Devonte find minutes on a roster?
See, compared to last year, This is why it was messed up. Imagine you're the only shooter somewhere. Like you're the only person asked to do this one thing.
Yeah.
In logic, you're like, oh, I get all of these? Yeah. But realistically, that's a lot of pressure on a team that can't shoot. And he's a rhythm guy. So imagine if Devonte played on a team like the Warriors where there's a bunch of shooters. He's probably it's more infectious. Somebody make one, then I'm gonna make one.
Right.
Now it's like, ain't nobody hit nothing. Oh, y'all expect me to shoot it and make it? Man, that's a lot of pressure, bro. It's different. It's a different form. Devonte finding minutes now, he has to be a shooter. Like no matter all that, what I just said, you have to be able to shoot the ball well. You have to, no matter what now, because they apparently we have a dribbling assassin and facilitator in Jose. You just drafted Dyson, so your guards are Dyson is bigger. He's a better defender. He can switch. Like the minutes for the guards are kind of swindling down.
Yeah.
he has like you have to be an effective shooter. Like you damn near have to be a 40% shooter this season. Like just to even say you can be on the court, because defensively you're probably not going to give them what a Dyson will give them.
Mm-hmm.
Chaz, I hope I ain't saying nothing crazy.
No.
Yo, who moderating this chat, man? Who moderating this chat, man? Like, who's doing this? But go ahead, Five.
No, I'm just saying, like, he has to be like an exceptional shooter just to give it value for him to be on the court, because like you said before, like he can be a negative defender at times, and we have a better suited defender as a possible. So it's damn near you got to be, probably what we always heard is like black man. Sometimes you got to be 2 times as good just to get on the fucking court.
So let me ask y'all this. You mentioned Dyson a couple times, right? Do you think heading into this season that Devonte is the front runner in minutes over Dyson, or because of the pick where Dyson was picked that he will come in and he'll get minutes over Devonte?
That's tricky because, see, Willie's different. Willie will, as we've seen before, he's gonna give somebody a leash. He's gonna get, hey, bro, you gotta. It's gotta come to the point where I gotta be told to take you off the court. I gotta have a sit down with you to take you off the court, and it happened. Yeah. Now they had to have that conversation. I mean, last year, where Devontae's role had to change. Like I think we were going towards the playoffs. I think they had to have a conversation. But coming in this year, I think it'll get a little different. Like I think Willie's kind of old school in the sense like the young players have to kind of earn it before he just allows them to just be free. Like they have to earn it, and Devontae's considered a vet, so before anything goes left, like he gotta like really screw it up for Willie to take him off the court.
I think I've been vocal on the circumstances in which you'll see Dyson play. Right, I think honestly you have to give Devonte Graham every chance to fail for 2 reasons. Him, because you kind of already know what you got with Larry Nance, but the reason I pair him and Devonte together is because those are the 2 salary players that will be traded eventually to get you when you're ready to contend at the championship roster or to take the next step. You like Devontae's contract is valuable because the last year is only like $2 million guaranteed. Right. Like, so you need him to succeed faster, or at least this year, you need him to repair some of his value more than you need Dyson to succeed this year. You know what I'm saying? Like, because right now you would probably have to attach an asset to offload Devontae. So you need him to at least be at a neutral, like to repair some of his value. So I think you have to give him every chance to fail. Even, I'll say this. If the difference between playing Devonte Graham over Jose or even over Dyson Daniels is the difference between you winning and losing, your team ain't shit. Your team ain't shit. If that's what's gonna make or break the team, then you probably ain't shit.
Chris, let me ask. I'm sorry. My bad. Chris, let me ask you a question. Based on why Devonte was brought here, if you're the GM of the Pelicans, right? Do you wait to see him and Zion in the lineup before you make a decision, or do you look into trading or moving Devonte for a more versatile player who can do more things on your roster?
No, because what you, similar to what Chaz has mentioned, like what are you getting back for Devonte, and is it worth adding something to, right? So, and similar to a lot of these discussions that we've been having about how you look to upgrade the roster, I still think you got to see how a lot of other things shake before you say, all right, we got to we need to make a roster move here to upgrade the roster marginally.
Yeah.
If it comes out and says, all right, well, the Pelicans could have traded Devonte in a second for, a backup veteran too, that, someone that we believe is trustworthy, then maybe, we visit this conversation again. But no, I don't think that, and the circumstances are different now as well, right? When Devonte was brought in, you didn't have CJ McCullough, right? You hadn't already seen Brandon have the year he had last year. progress mentally as a point guard, as a floor general, so on and so forth. So the need is different now. So you even seeing him with Zion, if you're putting him on the floor for any reason, you're showcasing him really for another team. If you're investing, I mean, I don't know, consistent minutes. We're talking 15, 20 minutes, because on the roster I look at right now, he wouldn't see my floor. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I think that right now, the circumstances are completely different. The team is won. You have added wings, like things about this team, and players that you didn't know at the time that you brought in Devonte. You didn't know how good Herb Jones would be. You weren't looking into Trey Murphy. Like, the roster just looks different, and you have a different idea for them going forward. To where, I mean, Devonte's, he's an afterthought for me. I mean, he's an attachment, or he's someone who can, if someone goes down, I think he's able to step in and kind of keep things stable if he has a good training camp and he's in the right, the right mind and his game's in the right place. But it's totally different. We talk about a starting point guard once he signed. Like that's what we were talking about. Him being a starting point guard, how much better could he be versus what we had already seen? Now we don't know if he's coming straight off the bench. Is he a 6-man? Is he a 7-man? Is he an 8-man? Is he touching the floor by the time, the first game tips off?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Fab, let me ask you this. Devonte been, like you mentioned this earlier, Devonte's been all around the city. He been kissing babies. He been helping old ladies with their groceries. He been at Saints camp. He's making an effort to be a part of the community, right? Does that change your mind about him in any way?
Change? No, I kind of sense that he was like that anyway. I mean, I remember seeing him posted on for Mardi Gras. Like he's always talking about being in the community. I mean, COVID kind of like dwindled that down a little bit, but he's always talked about that. He's like, I don't think he's like an inside type of person anyway. I think he likes to be out, and it just so happened that it's not changing though. It's not changing my mindset about him. I think he likes the city. I think he's kind of built like this. Like he likes this feeling. But we just need to see him on the court. Like fuck all that outside shit. Like I need to see you perform on the court. Hell, remember after he hit those 2 shots, like he had like some giveaways. He had some kids and stuff. They was trying the shot with him, like at the Pelicans. I mean, or at the Smoothie King Center. Like, nah, dude. He seems like a solid dude. I just want to see him perform on the floor,
on the court. Go ahead.
There's always, and I'm gonna say this. I mean, I don't foresee Devonte being a long-term, I guess, solution on any part of this roster, right? Especially with the direction that they're going and the type of people that they look, roster-wise, switchability, the type of athleticism and frames that they're trying to put forth, right? They want 1 through 5. They want that flexibility in regards to how their roster and their rotations are built. But I will say this, man, it's always something every year. You can go to every season, almost every team, that when you're talking about it in August, by the time you get to December, you're like, damn, I didn't see that coming. Mm-hmm. There's always a player that overperforms what you expect. There's always somebody that underwhelms, right? It happens every single year. Last year at this time, we were talking about get Josh Hart the hell out of here and attach him to, whatever, and get Buddy from Sacramento or wherever, that trade exception. Like, that's what we were talking about. Josh Hart ends up having, his best year, his best complete season. And now they're talking about what he ends up getting you back CJ McCollum. And now he's in Portland. And if you talk to Portland guys, we're talking about he's one of the best role players at his position in basketball. Now, I'm not going to argue that. So, they're different players, but I will keep in context, or at least I try to remember, there's always something that happens that we're not prepared for. Somebody doesn't play as well as we think they're going to play, and somebody completely blows other players out of the water with their production, and you having a different conversation. I'm not saying Devonte will be that guy, but I don't want to necessarily throw it away, especially let's say he has a really good training camp. I mean, we'll have to see.
I think that's a good point, Chris. And that's the thing I think Five has been looking for with internal growth, right? Those are the things that you would hope players develop IQ. I know that's something that is easier said than done. But Chaz, let me ask you this, just to be a little bit messy here, man. Remember when Devonte he came, what I'm saying, and he had the video, and he was excited to be here, and like that was one of the first guys that like you saw that was happy to be here.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of started the change of the perception of the team, right? So does that for you? Does that come for anything? Like, did he get any good merit from you?
I'll say this, right? And I just gotta keep it real. Fans don't care about that shit. Fans are disloyal people by nature, and I'm gonna tell you why. James Winston, right? James Winston, great guy, always wanted to be here, had a hell of a year before he got hurt. As soon as we had the chance to get Russell Wilson and all them people didn't give a fuck about James Winston no more. So I don't care if players want to be here. I really don't care. You know what I'm saying? I don't, it's nice if they do want to be here, but I don't think cities are necessarily own that because we don't always return that same, love. I think we're as faithful as our options, right? But I think what does Devonte a bit of a disservice, and it's not his fault, but it is like when we've all seen the film of Devonte the past couple years with Charlotte, right? Andrew put together a really dope video this past offseason covering Devonte, right? Devonte is a dude, when he's good, he's an exciting player. Like the footage we've seen, he can be an exciting player. Everyone loves a three-point shot. And also his aesthetic. Got the braids, got the headband, he got the leg sleeve, he got the shooter sleeve. Like he the dude come dressed up in the gym. And when you don't play, even if you have a bad game, the game gonna look that much worse because you got the audacity to be in here dressed like this. We're putting on that performance, like it's gonna just look that much worse. So it's kind of like some of it's him, and like Chris alluded to earlier, some of it is just like I expected more from you. That's why I'm disappointed. Like I thought Devonte was gonna average at least 18 points a game.
Oh my God!
Yeah, I thought I was watching this film. I didn't know Zion was hurt. I was like, okay, this offense. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna have more of his shots. I saw him getting into the paint a little bit on the highlights or on the strengths and weaknesses video. I rarely saw the player I saw in that footage this past year. So
did that crush all morale in him moving forward into this season? Like, do you still have a high standard of what you think he can do?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I have a high standard. I think realistically he can average around 13 to 15 points a game. I do believe that. I think this year again, man. I think so much fluky shit happened this year. I think some shit happened this year you'll never see again. Like Tomas Satoransky before this year was a serviceable player. Came to this team and just forgot how to play. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just came to this team and died. Like, it just a lot
his career
of shit.
died in New Orleans.
His career. He had a couple moments when he went back to Washington, but you like, this is not the dude that I've been seeing just last year. He was a different guy.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think this year would be more of a realistic evaluation, and you need him to be good for the future. You need him to be good because of his contract. Like, you need him to be better this year more than you need, like, I would say JV or somebody to be effective this year, just because you need him to regain some of the value so you can move off of that contract.
Five, what you got? Felt like you wanted to chime in.
Yeah, nah, man. I like Devonte Graham. Like, I want to see Devonte Graham succeed. Like, people are quick to say, get him the fuck out of here. I understand why you would say that, because he hasn't performed well. But I think he's better than what he has shown. Yeah. Completely better than what he's shown. I mean, if you go back to Kansas, it's like night and day. You don't even know what you're looking at. But there's a multitude of players I would say that last year, hell, you didn't know what Nall was doing half the time. Like he was playing on a team where everybody was up and down. Everybody was up and down. But yet, for some reason, he became the scapegoat. Like, how did that happen? Well, the guy that essentially turned our season around by making these two incredible shots, but yet he became the guy we should blame. Like, no, like, and it happens. Like, Chaz talked about JJ. Again, I'm gonna go back to this. Jump shooting is an art. It is, you have to perfect it. He had a bad year shooting because he had some injuries. We could say the same thing about Brandon Ingram at times. Like, we could say the same thing about a multitude of different players. But for some reason, I guess because Devonte always smiling or something like that, he gets the blame.
And no one really shot well on the roster. Like
no one.
Even like CJ, he had like his poorest free throw shooting year. That's not going to like happen again. It was just a weird ass year, man. Like nobody really.
Hey man, look. Go ahead. Chris, you had something? You was about to say something?
No.
Imagine shooting on a team with Thomas Satoransky. Imagine shooting practice with Thomas Satoransky.
I mean, look, now I think about it. I mean, how many games you think Zion gonna play? Because look, I mean, it just for guys like him or any shooter, any one of these role players or individuals that we have questions about, their shot profiles are going to look totally different once if that guy is available on the floor. With CJ, BI, and JV, if those three are the ones that are the only healthy players, we saw guys get shots that they weren't used to before all those individuals were available. We saw that.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I mean, I think that guys like Zion make marginal players look better because the confidence is there. And no, it's not enough. But the gravity's there.
I was answering the question of how many games you think he gonna play.
I mean, that's where I'm at. There's still, I'm not ready to close the book on Devonte. I don't think he should be playing crazy amount of minutes. I don't think he should be a core piece of this rotation going forward. But I do think that there are some positive things that he can give you. I do think that there are things that his skill set, if he's in the right mind and his game is in the right place, and he's healthy, that can help this team in a short, in a microwave, in a vacuum. I do believe that, but a lot of that is going to be on Zion being healthy because of the attention that he provides, and these guys getting practice type shots, game in and game out.
So look, 2 more questions. I'm gonna get us out of here, right? So if somebody, this is to the panel, whoever wants to answer it, they can answer it. Devonte Graham, one of the best guards in Kansas basketball history, you would say?
I don't know enough because
I don't know.
Somebody can say that about what Ben McLemore or somebody.
Big shot maker, big shot taker.
Sure.
I trust him to make big shots. Yeah.
He's got hard with that, right? So what if somebody told you coming into the season Devonte would overtake his minutes back from Jose? You say what?
You mean like would I believe it?
Yeah.
I could realistically see that. I could see a scenario in which Jose's, the clock strikes 12 on Jose's offense, and he's kind of just a defensive guy or more of a facilitator, and you need more. I'm a person who thinks this team needs more offense, right? Especially in the event of an injury. I can realistically see Devonte Graham, and in fact, I think they'll start the season with Devonte Graham playing over Jose.
You think this team need more offense?
Yeah, because I don't expect. I just told you.
Faces, brother.
I just told you.
No.
I just told you.
Oh my goodness.
These dudes they not gonna be healthy, dog.
Okay.
That's why
but look, we gotta treat it as them being healthy. We have to all we know, because are you sure Denver gonna be healthy?
Denver, do I think? Well, I'll say this. Denver has showed me that they don't need to be healthy as long as they got the big dude.
Oh.
Nah, no.
That's not fair. That's not
Because
No,
they
I'm
just
not-
got rid of 2 people on their team that they use efficiently.
Will
That
Barton,
shit-
but they
and-
replaced
except
Barton
it's
with KCP.
Barton and the guard,
Monty Morris.
Monte. They just shipped them to Washington, so that team's gonna look different. If Jamal and them not ready, I think they slip. Like I really think they slip,
Do they still have the MVP?
huh?
Yes.
Bruh.
Do they still have the MVP?
Okay.
Oh,
Okay. You saw what Golden State did to their ass, right?
Yeah, but you're talking about again arguably the greatest backcourt in history with one of the guys not
Greatest
really,
shooting backcourt. That's not the greatest backcourt in history.
Ooh.
Hey, it's debatable.
No.
I'll say.
We're
I'll
gonna
say this.
have to have a greatest backcourt list.
But
Then,
look
'cause
though, offensive wise, okay. Even if Zion's not playing,
Mhm.
let's say Zion's out. Okay,
FBI.
you stop it. Even if Zion's out,
They'll be out. They'll be out.
between CJ, BI, and JV, that's at least 60, 65 points a game, 70 on some nights. If Zion plays, that goes up damn near to 100. I mean, I get it, bro. I understand. We're talking about health, but health is so unpredictable, whether we want to make it one thing or not.
yeah, that's
We don't know year to year what's going. I know what we've seen, but we don't know. We are having these conversations off of what we think will happen. Like when fucking Derrick Rose was at an MVP level, they wasn't expecting him to go out in the playoffs and get hurt. Freak injuries and shit happens all the time. There are guys that just can't stay healthy. I get it. That's 100%. But until we see this happen again, over and over and over again, we gotta go off of what's here healthy today.
I mean, we got 3 years, so it depends on how you want to view the 3 years.
I understand that.
3 years alone, that's a lot of evidence.
I understand that. I'm not saying these dudes are gonna play 82 games. I'm not saying that they're gonna play 82 games.
I don't think they was gonna play 82 anyway, right?
yeah.
My goal is them two playing 50 games together, 65 games total.
Oh, I mean, that's a win.
I don't.
That's a
I don't. You feel like that's unrealistic though? You feel like that's an unrealistic goal?
Me?
Yeah.
Nah, I think they could play 50 games. I think them playing 50 games together as a total unit, I think it's possible.
So if you play 50 games, the offense, you still think they need more offense?
Yeah, because I think again, we don't know if Zion's going to start the season on the minutes restriction. We don't know if JV is going to.
Yeah, that can. If that happens, that's a fail.
Unless no. Listen, I'm gonna tell you. Unless they get hurt, unless he gets hurt, or he shows up to training camp in bad shape, he's not starting on the year on a minutes restriction after signing a max extension. It's not happening. Ain't no way.
I'm just saying.
That's not happening.
Look, I hope it don't happen. But no, one thing we know about the Pels, they gonna find a fucking rake. They gonna step on a rake. This is what they do. It's weird to not really like. We can go in hoping for the best, and which I do.
We got that Kyrie Sage now. We not, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they gotta do something.
We going in the blender with the Sage 5. You asked him to say?
Man, I'm thinking about what Chad said. He said 65 games for each of them, 50 games together. If that's the case, you're not saying they're gonna win at most, right? I guess at minimum they win 30 games together, right? Like they
I got them about maybe 40, 45, 48 wins, between 45, 48 wins.
Collectively. Like I'm saying that's my issue. I think they play more. I think Brandon plays more than 65 games this season. I really do. I'll be honest. Zion, okay, if he plays 65, that's a win. That's a win.
Yeah.
So that puts it probably right around 55 games together. That feels a little better to me. I'd rather not them play, not play 30 games. That's a lot of games to not be playing with somebody and say that you got some kind of continuity. We just saw with the with the Nets, they couldn't get it together at the end because they didn't play enough with each other. Like
Yeah.
that's an issue. Like continuity is a thing, and they haven't played on the court together.
You remember we had Drew, Eric, and Tyreek, and AD was like, we just get everybody healthy at the same time. When they all play, they're a top 3 offense. They just played 4 games together. Harden, KD, and Kyrie only played like fucking 13 games together. It's just they gotta stay healthy.
But guess what though, Chaz? In the beginning of the year, regardless of how many games you thought they was gonna play, a good majority of people said them motherfuckers was going to the Eastern Conference Finals or to the Finals.
Yeah, every year.
That's it. You gotta base it off of you have to base it off of what you think is going to be out there health wise. Phoenix had a bunch of spots throughout the year where Chris Paul was out, and Chris Paul would come back and Devin Booker would go out.
Yeah,
and then Book come back, and then Aiden's like it kept happening. But this goes back to the conversation we had before, which is why depth is so important. Injuries are gonna happen. These dudes gonna miss games. That's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Do you have enough on the back end to beat the teams that you are supposed to beat?
That's why Jose will still be on this floor. That's that reason right there, because he's probably the most intellectual guard you have at facilitating. And you need those type of people, especially when people go out. Because if you look at, I'm not saying Cam, what's your man that's in Phoenix, Cam Payne. I don't think Cam Payne. Like I don't think he's like ultra intellectual, but I think Chris taught him enough to be like, hey, you can be serviceable and get us and lead us to some wins. They won some games without Book and CP, so you have to be able to do that. With guys being out, and we, of course, we were like 3-17 or some craziness like that when Brandon was out.
It was bad. It was bad. It was.
You know what I'm saying? It was terrible. So you have to be able to win games without your stars. Like you have to be able to do that to be a good team.
That's that continuity and internal growth you're looking for. Like I said, I'm gonna get us out of here. I just wanted to show y'all this chart. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this. This is from NBA University. It's about, so I'm gonna read it to y'all. The guys in the highest, they are pull up. They call them the pull up king. The players on the bottom, that is they brick the most pull ups.
God damn.
Guys on the left, they brick the most catch and shoots. The guys on the right, they call them a catch and shoot god.
Ooh, so at the bottom right, or at just the right?
Just the right. So if you look,
CJ, DG,
yeah,
that's important.
Yeah. So I just wanted to add that for context, just to kind of, you know what I'm saying going into the season, if you got a motherfucker who can get healthy, and like we said yesterday, who are you gonna play off? You gotta give something up, right? I think that's going to lead to Devonte getting more opportunities and better looks, and he won't have to put the ball on the floor. He can just shoot that shit.
Yeah. That's a bar. First of all, that's a clip.
You see that boy? You see this boy?
Jesus.
Yeah,
that's a clip.
Yeah, that would be super ideal. Just again, focus on what you do well, bro.
That's it.
Focus
and
on
we
what you do
talk
well.
about the need for shooting. I mean, we need, you need health, you need intellect. You're gonna need people that that will go out there and defend, and we know that that's high on Willie's menu in regards to what he wants out of his players. But I mean, let's call it how it is. Game 1, whether it's game 1 or game 45, if Zion's on the floor, no matter who's out there, he's going to get a majority of the attention. And we saw what teams tried to do to BI. We saw the doubling. We saw the way that they bracketed coverage. Shots are going to be there. Knock them down.
My final word.
What you got?
The Boston Celtics had 3 games this playoffs where they made 20 plus threes. I'm just talking about the playoffs. Those games. How many times did we make 20 plus threes this season? Once. We have to be able to shoot. If you want to be able to win games in this season, we have to be able to shoot. If Devonte can, average three makes a game, I don't think nobody has a problem with that. I think he sees the floor.
And that seems absolutely doable.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can do that.
That's all I got, man. Y'all got any last words?
Good.
This for okay, cool, man. For Lito, for Chaz, 5, Chris, Propels Talk, Buku Media. We out, man. Peace.